Hi, I'm Captain Larry Bell with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report.
Down here on Panther Reef off of Panther Point, all these reefs that are out here in San Antonio Bay. Still got that nice tea-stained water that's all out in here, but once you get on these reefs, work these things up and down and all the way down from Panther Point out there on the front edge as you get over here on the reef across the way from it. Just work this and continue to work it up and down here on this edge of this thing, and all the way as you go over toward Chicken Foot in that area as well. Again, all this water is that nice brown tea stain stuff. But there's some nice trout that have been hanging around these edges of these reefs all up and down there. There's a good amount of bait that's working in and around some of these areas. You just have to kind of locate what area of the reef that you want to fish. Take a look at it. If you got some bait that's working around those areas, get out, put your boat down right there, get out and walk these reefs. You'll find the deeper edge of it. Again, we're in the process of having the big moon. We're going to be on the back side of that. So this water's really being sucked out of here right now and pushed back in. So when you have those lower tides in the morning, take advantage of that and get on those reefs like that and fish those deeper edges. Those fish are going to be hanging off into that 3 to 5, maybe 6 foot of water. It's a little bit clearer for them in that depth right there as well. Plus the salinity level is better for them at that level. The one thing that's been working really well, especially in this big moon, has been the burner shads. The burner shads have been really productive. That's in the supernatural chicken of the sea model for me personally. Those two have been working really well. I've been using a 1/8 ounce jig head 2/0 for those, just working those off those rocks, off the edge of the shell, up and down these edges out here. Same thing over there on the chicken foot on the edges there as well. Just keep bouncing those and just keep working your way up and down those reefs, and you'll locate some trout. All right, just down from Panther Point as you head down towards Cedar Lake, in and out of Cedar Lake, out on the point edge of that toward Twin, all the way back around toward Pat's Bay, back in this area back there. You've got tons of mangrove edges, mangrove lines, all these kind of little back bays and cuts and areas in here. There's redfish that are hanging out in these areas. They're scattered out. One thing that's been very productive for me, and this has been in the afternoon, but the gold spoon. Tried and true gold spoon, man. Just get in there with a gold spoon and work. If you're getting there early in the morning, you're sure your burner shads, your down south lure supermodels in the chicken of the sea and the magic grass, both would be probably really good. But I've been just throwing the spoon in here and just working water, covering water with it, working it. And we're finding our fish. We're getting fish. It's taking some time to do that, but yeah, we're doing it. We're catching them. So just watch your tides. Again, this big moon being in place right now, that's really sucking a lot of water out of here. There's a decent amount of bait that's working in and out of all these areas in here. So just find you some good concentration of bait. Work the edges. Work a little bit deeper water. There's good bottoms in here to wade all this area. If you don't want to get in there, you can get on your trolling motor and you can work the edges and do the same thing with that gold spoon. Just cover water with it and work all those edges. Work all the mangrove lines, all that good stuff that's all back in these areas here, and you'll find your redfish. The shoreline here that comes out from the Mott all the way down through here as you come up the Mott, back around the Long Reef Bend, all this area here, again, all those little back lake mouths and stuff that's just been dumping out into these lakes here. With the lower water levels that we've been having and we'll continue to have for a little bit, again, with the big moon being in place, you can find you some trout that are hanging out there in that 3 to 5 foot of water. Again, the burner shads have been really good. Typically whatever darker color that you got, especially with this tea-stained water that we got everywhere, the darker colors have been really good. Again, the clarity of that water down lower is better for the fish. Again, that's where the salinity level is going to be heavier for them. So work the lower columns. So if you got a 3 to 5 foot section of water that you're going to be throwing into, you want to work that bottom 3.5 to 5 foot area. So you got a nice little area there that those fish are going to hang into. Find your bait that's working. A lot of this bait's been pushed out away from the shorelines and it's working out over that same type of area. You got deep structure with grass. Locate that. It's kind of hard to see again with this tea-stained water, but when you got the right kind of sun with a big blue sky with not many clouds, you can locate that structure in there and you can start fishing those edges of that structure. And that's the kind of stuff that you really want to be looking for. The bites have been pretty good early. By mid-morning, the bite's starting to fade off, and I'm talking around 10:30 or so, it's starting to really fade out on you. So incorporating that major and that minor during these time frames and when you're fishing is really important, especially throwing your artificial. It's a big part of the game that you have to incorporate into it, and then pay attention to your tidal movement. working the deeper water, deeper edges. Again, the down south lures have been money for me this past week. So if you have those, if you don't, go get you some. And those have been the main thing, catching a lot of trout on that, on the trout as well. So keep a few if that's what you need to do, but release the rest, because we're still trying to get to that point where we're trying to get our estuaries recovered from the freeze back in February.
Thanks for watching. I'm Captain Larry Bell.